All right. Hey, Flooring Pros, let's do another wrap for the week that was Thanksgiving. All right. Hope your Thanksgiving was good. Mine was excellent. You had the best turkey I've ever had and lots of fun, family, friends. It was really good. So hope yours turned out every bit as good as ours did. All right. Let's talk about some of the things that went on this week, some of the conversations that we're having across the flooring world and what's going on. So, um, first one of the things that we talked about was offering financing. And it's interesting that when you're going to buy a car, we're always talking about what do you budget for the payment? We don't budget the total price necessarily. In fact, we don't care what the total price is when it comes down to we're trying to get down to a certain payment. And that's the way most people buy their car. So if you're not willing to go over $550 a month, you know, they can fiddle around with the price, the APR, the length of time that the loan is. There's all sorts of ways to try and get you into that price. It'd be interesting if we develop that kind of mindset with our customers in buying flooring, because if we can get them into a budget or price that meets their budget on a payment idea, and they can pay it off as soon as they want, but it might make them easier for them to buy and easier for them to buy a bigger purchase and do more rooms at the same time. So consider adding that into your arsenal, the financing. And then one of the things that we learned about financing is it's not something that you just introduce at the end of the sale. You need to tee the people up from the moment they start talking to you, and just put it into their head that that's an option, that other people do financing, that you can get your flooring as cheap as $350 a month, or you know some of these strategies you can use in your company to help get people to buy into the idea that you offer the financing and that you're going to make it easy on them. So having financing alone doesn't work because people aren't requesting it, and it only works if you're using it as a sales tool. Okay, and then from a marketing standpoint, it doesn't even work very well. It really does work better as a sales tool, but it doesn't seem to attract a lot of customers from a marketing standpoint. Either they're not interested or they assume everybody has financing of some sort, but there's not a lot of customers that are looking for companies that offer financing when it comes to flooring. So you can use it as a marketing strategy. Try those payment plans, try those ideas. With marketing, it's a crapshoot. You try everything and see what sticks, see what message that people respond to. And I'm very interested in the sales, the way that we market our message to see what gets a response, and listening to customers over the years that have come to my company and have worked with us. It wasn't anything, it wasn't usually a sale or special that drove them in. It was more of a matter of fact that our ad came across them, or they did a Google search, or we were easy to find, or we got referred at the time that they were looking for that product or service. So it had much more to do with that than any kind of sale or special, because people didn't reference that sale or special when they came into the showroom, including financing. All right, so this is an interesting topic, kind of an ugly topic, but firing during the holidays. It's interesting how every time I've talked to three different dealers who are all faced with this, it's hard enough firing people, but then you're firing them around Thanksgiving, you're firing them around Christmas. It makes it really tough and stressful. The only advice I can give you on that is pull off that Band-Aid quick, do it as fast as possible. Usually when I fired people, I paid them off. I like to give them money to help them make that transition. I do like to tell them, if I can, what they did wrong and what could have helped them in the future, what might help them with another employer. If they're willing to listen and learn, I want to share that with them as the boss, as the owner. I feel like it's your responsibility to help them even transition. Now, they're just a jerk and it didn't work out, then that's fine. If you have to let somebody go and you don't want to take that time to try and help them out. Maybe they won't listen. So I've certainly had those people I've had to let go as well. So once I understand they don't listen, okay, good luck. So, but get that over with as soon as possible. Because the amount of stress you have coming up to firing somebody, it's like waiting on a surgery that you desperately need, and all the stress and anxiety waiting to get to that surgery. Once you get it over with, it's going to be a big relief. So get it done as soon as possible. You've already waited long enough. So it's time. Running a $5 million business is a $2 million business. Now, this is an interesting subject because I run across this a lot, and these are a lot of the clients I have and a lot of the coaching I do. It's you see people that have been in business 15, 20 years, and they're still doing $1.5 million, $2 million, $3 million in business. And they live in a great state, very populated. They're very well known. They may not even have a bad website, and you look at them and there's just no reason why they shouldn't be hitting that $4 or $5 million mark. And some people might argue that it's more work to do more business. And actually, as you grow the business, if you're doing it right, it's much less work. You're the conductor of the band. You should be sitting back and instructing people on what to do. They need your leadership. So when you're at the top of the helm, you're actually working less, and you can conduct that band to do $4 or $5 million and work less, fewer hours doing it. It's the old saying of working on your business instead of working in your business. If you're the one that's going out and giving the estimates and lining up installers, there's only so much time in the day. So you're running a very stressful business, and you might be profitable, but what good is the profits if you don't have the time to enjoy the money, the fruits of your labor? And you don't want to wait until you're old enough where you can afford to do things, and you don't have the health to do the things that now you can afford to do. So do it now while you're younger and build that $5 million business. It's also a business that'll be easier to sell, easier to get loans, and it's easier to run with much less stress and problems than you get when you're in that rat race of the $2 to $3 million business. I mean, it's tough. And for a lot of you, there's no reason why you should still be sitting there, understanding your numbers, knowing what your closing rate is, average ticket, what's your profit margins. You got to understand some stuff about the business and run it like a real business. That was my big aha moment in 2009 when I had to file a bankruptcy. And even though everybody else was filing BK around me, anchor stores were going out of business. There was every good reason to blame it on the economy, but I still felt like, you know what, man, if I knew what I was doing, I could have avoided that. So I probably would have still taken a beating, but I could have avoided shutting down or filing bankruptcy. I never did shut down. I kept my business going, but I could have avoided filing a bankruptcy if I had understood what I understand now. And that's those principles of marketing, selling, hiring people, running the business, making sure you're getting the right prices and the right margins, that you're selling at the right prices and margins. So there's a lot to the business that has a lot more to do with the product and the installation of it. So if you're an expert on the product and the installation, that's great. Now it's time to become an expert at running your business, not just doing the work. So your products are not your children. Okay, they don't all require an equal amount of attention. I see people that have multiple products and they're moving slower than the one trick ponies or the two trick ponies. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up those products, but you need to understand from a marketing standpoint, you shouldn't be advertising all your products and all the services that you carry. And you shouldn't be advertising to all the customers you can service. There's saying that there's riches and niches. There's a lot more people. If you could sell a lot more carpet to a lot more people, then a little bit of carpet, a little bit of vinyl, a little bit of tile, a little bit of hardwood, maybe some kitchen cabinets, maybe some countertops, maybe some window coverings. If you're trying to do that, all these products are not your children. They don't all require your attention. And if you're moving slow, then you need to think about this and really invest your money and your marketing into one product or one service, maybe two at the most, but don't try to advertise everything. Then when you get the customers in the store, then you educate them about the other things that you sell and the other things that you do. Okay, what's the best product to market? The one that gets the best response and the most attention. So whatever that might be. So if you're really good at marketing carpet, then do that. Hit it. If you're really good at marketing cabinets or countertops, hit it. Do kitchen remodels or bathroom remodels. And a lot of that stuff can be done for free on social media. So you don't necessarily need to be spending money to do kitchen and bathroom remodels when you can very effectively do it for free online on Facebook and Instagram and all these other resources that you have now. Just shoot the damn video and do it for free. What is a good marketing budget for a small company doing under $2-3 million? Look, one of the questions is how do I budget for my marketing? So a good marketing budget in our industry is about 5%. Now, you don't want to spend, are you doing 5% of your sales last year or 5% of your goal this year? Now, I would probably spend 5% of what my goal is this year and try to invest some money. So let's talk about spending about $5,500 a month. I'll do the math right now. 5,500 times 12. I mean, that's only $66,000 a year times 20. So, I mean, that's only $1 million business. So that's not even a lot of money. That's not a very big budget, but a lot of people are spending under $5,000 and you're spinning your wheels. You're not getting anywhere. So let's just talk about 5,500 as a budget. Where should you spend the money? First of all, invest in pay-per-click and SEO advertising. You should be spending about $3,500 a month minimum. And it should be on one or two product categories only. So just carpet and luxury vinyl, or just carpet and hardwood, or just hardwood, or just tile. It depends on that product that you're doing, but don't spend it on carpet, tile, hardwood, flooring, and you're going to water down your marketing efforts. Now in my business, we dominated carpet. We didn't hardly show up for flooring, but we grew to a $5 million business. So, our strategy worked where somebody was spending a little bit of money on everything. And yeah, we weren't showing up at all on flooring. We might not show up at all on other categories, certainly not tile and hardwood. Luxury vinyl, laminate, we did a little bit, we didn't show up strong for that, but we sold plenty of it. We got people in the doors, they understood we did flooring, and they came to us for those other products as well. But we dominated the search for carpet and got more of those sales, good high ticket. So there's certain strategies you can implement, but you don't blanket cover everything to all your customers. So let's say out of 5,500, you spent 3,500 on SEO and pay-per-click advertising. Spend about $500 a month on previous customers. What are you doing to your past customers? How are you getting them to buy from you again or continue to refer you? You need to give them some attention at least 4 times a year, sending them a newsletter, an announcement, private sale, something. And it's as simple as an email, a phone call, anything like that. Especially when you're slow, man, call those previous customers, see how everything's going in their house, if everything's holding up well, anything that you can do, anything that needs to be fixed. Maybe they haven't called you about something and they need something fixed. Man, you're a hero. If you call them out of the blue and you come out and fix something and they didn't even call you, not only are they going to use you for life, they're going to refer you to everybody. So make that call, see how everything is going, and then see if they need anything else. I would budget about another $1,000 for signs, home shows, various other things, vehicle wraps. There's all sorts of little ancillary things that we do, that marketing, shirts, other things that you can do. And about $1,000 a month is a good budget for all those other things combined. Be careful of shiny objects. Boy, I hear TikTok is great. TikTok's working good. Look, if you're not on TikTok, don't get on TikTok. Okay. Don't get on something social media platform because somebody said it was really good. Either you do it or you don't do it. Because if you try it, most of you won't stick with it. And so it's not going to work. It takes time to build up. It takes time. I'm on YouTube really strong. It took several years to get where I'm at on YouTube. So you don't get good reaction right away. But if you are on a platform, Instagram, Facebook, those are the easiest ones to get on and to shoot the video, shoot it on Instagram, share it to Facebook. I was never on Instagram, but I'm just using it to shoot my videos and then I post them to Facebook. This one I'm posting right to YouTube and then sharing it on Facebook. So but I do this a lot. So you don't have to keep up with somebody like me who's doing that all the time. But there's no reason why you shouldn't be shooting a free video and posting it on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you're obviously on Facebook if you're watching this, or you found us on YouTube. But don't be afraid of the social media. Get on there, post a video, have fun with it. And and that's the point too. Somebody was talking about this. They're not very good at the videos. Well, shit, don't worry about making it professional and doing a great job. I don't do a great job with this. Just shoot the video. Nobody's judging you as much as you're judging you. So everybody looks like they're doing a better job and they're more professional. I mean, some of the goofy ass people I've seen do really well on Facebook, and they're not doing it. Their lighting isn't good. Their quality of their video and sound isn't good, but they're doing a good job. They're out there and they're just throwing different things out there and seeing what sticks. Right. And the next one was, do you budget based on what you sold or based on what your goals are? We already covered that. I would tend to budget my marketing budget towards what I did last year. That's the other thing about marketing budgets. None of us really have a marketing budget. I never had a marketing budget. Some advertiser came to me with an ad. If I thought I can get a good return on my investment, I would try it out. Okay. It never had to fit into my budget necessarily. So most of us as small business owners don't have budgets for marketing, that we make sure that whatever we're doing fits into our budget. We base and judge the advertising. Will it get us a good response? Because I could spell a hell of a lot more. And, I'm willing to spend $10,000, $15,000 a month if I could get that kind of return. If I was guaranteed that kind of return, hell yeah, I'd spend that kind of money. But because you're not losing, it's like putting in a slot machine and guaranteed to get paid out. But a lot of us have to take it a little more cautiously. Some of the big companies that are doing they're spending gobs and gobs of money in your area, the Empires Express, some of these big mega companies, and they're spending 15-20% on marketing. Most of us can't afford to keep up with that. So don't even worry about that. You're not competing against them. Their sales, their specials aren't working. They're just spending gobs and gobs of money to get the business that they're getting. Okay. So you're going to have to just be a little bit more clever about your marketing and better about your marketing. So when's the best time to set goals for next year? This is a great question I got. Now's a great time. I always like to do it before a show or event, and Mohawk had conventions in December. So I always made sure I got it done before the Mohawk convention, and because I wanted to share my goals with my sales manager, because I would go over my goals with the sales manager and saying, this is what we want to do next year. How are you going to help us get there? If you don't do that, they're going to set the agenda. They're going to show you what their bosses told them to sell to you, so they're going to come at you and say, here, if you buy inventory, we'll give you this kind of discount or deal. If you buy these displays, we're going to give you this kind of discount or deal. You're letting them control the narrative. So the only way for you to take control of the narrative, sit their ass down, have a meeting and say, this is where I want to go next year. How can you help me get there? I could use specials on these items. Maybe these times of years, we can use different discounts, different specials. So give me a better price now and again on certain items, and then give me some co-op money. Help me to sell more of your product. You can control the narrative, but you got to step up. You got to share your goals and what you want to do and help them to help you. So in setting your goals, what's the best way to set goals? What are the best numbers? I found that the best numbers to use are what's meaningful to you. I've run across some people that are using the profit, they're determining what profits they need to cover their expenses. What kind of profitability do they need? That bottom line revenue, as important as it is, it's very hard to track. Top line sales is not the end all be all, but it's so much easier to track. And if you're not a numbers guy and you don't do this often, do something that's very easy and track those top line sales to start. Okay, you can get deeper in the weeds once you get good at the simple stuff. Let's do the simple stuff first, like top line sales. What's our average ticket? What's our closing rate? These things are good to know. What's your profit margin? Do your job costing. Those basic things to know. Okay, total sales, profit margin, closing rate, average ticket. Know those four things, and then you can get deeper into some of the other numbers. Finding out what your break even is actually pretty easy to do. It is based on your margins, but you can get an idea at least. Just take your expenses and multiply them by 4. That just gives you an idea of what your profit margin is. And when I'm talking about your expense, not your profit margin, what your break even is. When I'm talking about your expenses, these are expenses that are built in, like your rent. You might have a bookkeeper, or you might have employees that are on salary, your wages, whatever you need to make as the owner, anything that's not tied into the sale. The things that are tied into the sale are commissions, are supplies, and the labor. So any expenses that are ongoing expenses, total those up, multiply them by 4, and that gives you an idea of what your break even is. All right, guys, that's a wrap. So hope you have a good week, good December, and let's kick it off right. I got a big announcement coming up soon, so you'll probably hear from it real shortly. I got to stop the damn video.